Hey tubes. Well, I'm going to pick a few onions, but I don't really pick onions. I'm going to cut them with a knife, believe that. So when I'm picking onions, I'll get right down into something that is a little crowded. Right in here, the onions are pretty close together. These were planted last May by seed, so the spacing is a little off. So what I do is I cut down beside the onion if I can. Maybe I'll take 2 on this one. And that just releases the roots a little bit. Pardon me. Whew. So that they're just a little bit easier to pull. But you have to be careful that you don't get too close to the edge of the onion right there, or you'll end up slicing the onion side. But I find this works really good just to loosen them up in the soil, and then you don't pull the heads off, and they just pop right out like that. So let's do a few more, even on ones that are alone. It just makes them easier to pick. Let's do a few. Let's do some right here. Oops. So sorry you can't see. So slice around. Don't slice too close because you'll slice the side of the onion. And they just pull out, and you don't kill the onions on either side. So here's one right there. Yep. And we'll take this one. And this nice big boy right here. Can you see that one? I go on 4 sides sometimes, and that just releases the roots. One more. I want 2 bunches. So conditioned to having stuff from them. Okay, now we'll take them over to the compost bin, which is where I trim things. I'll be right back. Okay, tubes. We've got what will become 2 bunches of onions. So I'm just going to rinse them in this pail of water first, just so I can deal with it a little better. Okay, that's good enough for now. We'll just pour a little water on our table here, or that's actually the top of my compost bin. Remember, cleanliness is important with gardening. The first thing you have to do is get dirty. So now what I do is I trim the onions, roots to a small length, still keeping them intact. I peel the outer shell back, give them a little rinse, and we'll deal with this later. So now we have an onion like that. We'll do that with all of them. The nice thing about this is the actual compost bin we're working on, is I just shove everything into here when I'm done. Okay, let's do, now that you've seen that, we'll do 5 or 6 of these in bulk. So I'm just peeling off the part of the onion that you would never eat anyway. And you can usually take the whole leaf back, and it'll clean it right up. I'll just push those on the ground for now, and we'll put those in the compost later. Now I've got my clean water. Can you see that? Yes. 1, 2. So I take them And you know the bunches you buy at the store. I just do this. And yes, folks, I saved my rubber bands. Two bunches of onions. Now, when I give vegetables to the neighbors, this is the kind of thing I do, because some people are, they're even squeamish that it was grown in your garden, believe it or not. They've been so conditioned to having stuff from the store, so that when you present that to a neighbor, that looks like something that they'd buy in the produce department at any major store. That's what I do. I gotta get this camera out of the rain.